Hey, are you a book buddy?
I hope you are. My name is Barb and I love books. And I can't wait to share this story with you. It's about 6 children from all over the world and how they had to face a pretty big challenge, which many of us did, and that was schools closing. But they found hope. Remember this little warm fuzzy thing. You're going to see that again and again. And very importantly, how they shared that hope. Now, a couple really cool things about this book. You can get this book absolutely as a free e-download by going to www.hopewhereareyou.com. And it's also available in over 33 languages. But my friend Amy and I realized there was one language that we wanted to share with you with also. So, Amy, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I am going to be signing the book in American Sign Language while Barb reads it for you. And ASL is the language most commonly used by the deaf community and is a nice language for many people in the hearing, hard of hearing, and deaf community to learn so they can bridge the gap and break down the communication barrier. So,
Thank you so much for sharing your time and talents with us today, Amy. I think we should dive in. Hope, Where Are You? By Armand Doucet and Elisa Guerra, illustrated by RoGu. We're going to start with, well, there we are. School's closed. Yikes. But we're going to go all the way to see Mulu in Africa. I miss everything about school, even the 2-hour walk to get there. I spend my days helping my mother while my sisters play. Staying busy keeps my mind off my hunger. I listen to school lessons on the radio when my dad is not home. Today, I overheard my father saying that he might not let me go back to school. My older sister was married at 12. I'm just 11. I have dreams of becoming a teacher. I need to go back to school. I'm worried about my younger sisters. I'm scared for myself. My teacher, Amina, comes to my house with 2 men I have never seen. They bring with them a box of food for our family. My mom takes me and my sisters outside to get water. She says, let's stay out here for a little while. They need to speak with your dad. The 3 spend a long time talking to my father. I wonder what they are talking about. Dad pulls me aside. I have decided that you will be returning to school. He continues, can I see you teach some math to your sisters? I'm quite excited as I explain the wonders of numbers to my sisters. Even my mom and dad decide to participate. I believe I will become a teacher. Finding that warm and fuzzy feeling inside, I eat my piece of chapati and dream about my future. Now, when I read a book and I don't know something, I just need to learn more about it. So I didn't know what chapati was. So I did a little research and I found some. And what it is, it's an unleavened bread. That means it's a bread that does not have yeast. It's a flat bread. And it's actually often broken apart and used to scoop up different sauces and different flavors. So I wish you could smell this. It's kind of doughy and a little bit like toast. I'm going to eat this later. Trust me, it's going to be delicious. So we saw that Mulu found hope. Remember that warm and fuzzy feeling? Now we're going to take a look at Nikau. Nikau is from Oceania. We moved last weekend into a house in the country, and I feel lonely. I love the city, the energy, the people, but now everything has suddenly shut down. I won't be able to go to school and make new friends. My older brother, Kari, is helping my parents unpack. I was done with my room pretty fast. I don't have much. We move quite often, wherever Dad can find work. So I got rid of everything apart from my tools because I love to tinker and my rugby ball. In the backyard, all I see are rolling hills and moving boxes. Nothing else in sight. I feel invisible. I'm not myself. Why don't you build something with your tools? Kari believes we are happiest when we are building with our hands. My brother is right. I cut and rearrange the cardboard boxes to build my old neighborhood. And then I use markers to draw the people I miss so much. I imagine what they are feeling in lockdown. I put old rusty cans all over my cardboard world and draw germs on them. Ah, that's a good idea, says Kari again. He joins me with my rugby ball. Let's do something about those germs. I start throwing my rugby ball to knock them down. I feel empowered. I imagine myself defeating the germs to free my friends in our old neighborhood. This is brilliant, says Kari. He pulls out his phone and sends pictures of my game to our old friends. They want to play as well. We create a group chat to share our best throws. Laughing hard, I say, everybody needs to do this. It feels so good. It feels even better because we are doing it with friends, says Kari. I realize I'm not alone. I feel like myself. And I'm finding that warm and fuzzy feeling. There it is. See it? I create a video challenging more friends and former classmates to join our game. Now, sometimes this happens. When I'm reading one book, it reminds me of another book. And this book, called Not a Box, is one of my favorites. Not only is it called Not a Box, it actually kind of looks like a box. It's about this little bunny who everybody keeps asking him, oh, what are you doing with that box? And he keeps telling them, it's not a box. And you can see all the wonderful things he does with just a plain old cardboard box and a lot of imagination. Awesome idea. Good job to Mikau and Kari. So now we're going to go visit Kate. And Kate's coming to us from North America, which is where Amy and I are as we're doing this story with you today. My brothers are doing homework. Mom is teaching her high school classes. Everybody is staring at screens. I am bored. I try to follow my classes on the computer. It's hard. I miss playing outside with my friends, and I miss dancing. It feels like my skin is crawling and I'm antsy. I wish time could go faster. Maybe I can speed it up if I run really fast. Oops, I disturbed everyone again. Just stop moving, screams Mikey. And not again, yells Peter. I'm getting on everybody's nerves. I'm not myself. Kate, could you try to read quietly for a while? I sit still for 2 minutes and my legs start twitching. I'm ready to burst out. I'm going to get in trouble again. All of a sudden, the phone rings. I run and answer. It's Mrs. Robinson, who inquires, how are you, Kate? I sneak underneath the table with tears welling in my eyes, and I whisper, I'm being bad. I can't sit still. Mrs. Robinson reminds me that at school, we use yoga to calm down in the morning. She suggests that I practice when waking up and promises to send her videos to Mom. A week later, I am leading my family through Mrs. Robinson's yoga. I'm finishing with the tree pose. I'm really good at this. Even my brothers can see it. Thank you, Kate, Mom says. What a wonderful way to start the day. I feel helpful. I feel wanted. I feel like myself. Finding that warm and fuzzy feeling, even the warm and fuzzy feeling is doing yoga, keeps me calm and focused all day. Now, another really amazing thing about this story is that each child we see has some lessons or some activities that go along with it. So when you go on the website, you will see there's a little poster of Kate doing a whole bunch of different yoga poses and just talking about some things that you can do to stay creative and find some outlets for that energy. So I have a friend here. He's not too bendy like a human being, but if you wanted to do the tree pose, what you're going to do, and don't fall over, but you can stand up and try. You're going to stand up on your right foot and take your other foot and lift it up and put it on either your calf or your thigh, a little bit up higher, not your knee. And then you're going to take your hands and you're going to put them in a pose that's close to holding your heart, right there. And then try to stand and balance as best you can. You can also take those arms when you feel comfortable. And when you're growing like a branch, a tree, and branches of this tree grows straight up. Oh, that stretch has to feel wonderful. So sometimes we just need to remind ourselves to get up and move a little bit. Ah, so happy that Kate found that. Now we're going to work with Bo from Asia. My parents are both doctors. They are needed at the hospital, so my aunt is staying with me. When she arrived, I refused to say goodbye to my parents, and I hid in my room. Now I miss them. I miss the experiments that we would do together, tinkering and 3D printing. My aunt only loves to watch television. I'm ashamed of myself. When my aunt spoke to my parents today, I spied a nasty rash on my mom and dad's faces. They are wearing medical masks all the time. I wish I could help them somehow. I have always loved science and technology, so I enjoyed the virtual classroom with Mr. Chun. His lessons are the highlight of my day and the only time I feel like myself. But today, I am quiet when he proposes a project. My friend Jin realizes something is wrong. I would usually be excited. He calls me after class and asks, "How are things going, Bo?" I confess my behavior and worries for my parents, and I wonder how I can help. "You still have that 3D printer at home?" asks Jin. "Why don't we use it for the project?" Mom and Dad call. I answer. "Look, Bo," she says as they model the brand new headpieces that Jin and I collaborated to design and 3D print for them. Dad asks, "Do you think you and Jin can make some for our doctor and nurse friends?" "With pride," I answer. "Of course." Mom and Dad are beaming. I am very busy, feeling more like myself, finding that warm and fuzzy feeling. There it is. I get ready to start 3D printing more headpieces. Oh, I love those creative juices were flowing for Bo. And you know what? Wearing that mask is super important. So Herman, because Herman's everywhere with me, and isn't life better with a stuffy? Herman has his mask on today, and his mask actually has another character from a storybook, Paddington Bear. So if you haven't read Paddington Bear, you need to pick that one up too. But Herman's staying safe right now with his mask on. Okay, next we're going to go to Latin America and meet Gabby. We are home all the time. It is not easy. I tried to keep up with distance learning, as my teacher calls our lessons on the computer, but sometimes I get distracted. Nico and Felipe, my little twin brothers, cry a lot. It drives Poppy nuts. He gets angry and yells at Mama. I hate it when this happens. Mama says that Poppy is worried about his business. She tries to comfort me with, "Everything will go back to normal and we will be fine once this is over." I hope she is right. My family is not itself anymore. The next day, I'm distracted when my grandfather calls. I'm fearful he will hear Nico and Felipe crying and Poppy's loud voice in the background. Grandpa says, "What's wrong, Gabby?" I can't stop myself. I tell him that my parents are stressed and fighting a lot. The twins cry constantly. I don't bake with my dad anymore. I miss the smell. I miss walking under the jacaranda trees with him while I share my school stories and eat our freshly baked cookies. Grandfather says, "Gabby, I have an idea for your class project. Why don't we write the story of how these days have been for you? I'll help with your writing and you can do the drawings." Your grandfather called, Mom says. She hugs me and whispers, your dad and I would like to see your story. I finish reading it to them, and they sit in silence. Poppy leans over to Mama and says, I'm sorry, and gives her a big hug. He turns to me with a large smile on his face. Gabby, why don't we bake cookies? Singing and baking, I feel like myself again. Finding that warm and fuzzy feeling, there it is, helping bake. I decide to share my story with my teacher and classmates in my next lesson. So Gabby was kind of doing journaling, which is a wonderful thing to do. But there was something in Gabby's story I didn't know about, so I did a little research, and I found out what a jacaranda tree is. And in Spanish, it's actually pronounced jacaranda. This is what the blossom looks like. And it says that it's good luck if this flower falls on your head when you're walking under those trees. But here's the best part. Open it up. And there's a jacaranda tree. See, it's a little card with the blossom on the front, but this is the best part. Ah, how beautiful it would be to walk under that tree. I think I'd miss it if I couldn't do it too. And our last child that we're going to visit with is Alessandro. And Alessandro is from Europe. It's been a couple of weeks since we started learning from home. My teacher made sure I brought my books and things home, including my violin, before the school closed. It's been hard. Grandma has been very sick. I can see my parents are worried. I'm worried as well. We can't talk or visit Grandma. I'm very sad. I am struggling to express my feelings and don't want to bother my parents. We live in a small apartment, but I still feel very alone. I'm not myself. We get the phone call that Grandma is gone. Just like that. I didn't get to say goodbye. Mrs. Rossi, our next door neighbor, calls. I heard the news, Alessandro. I am so sorry. I stay quiet, not sure what to say. Mrs. Rossi continues, don't forget your violin, Alessandro. In these times, you can express yourself through your music. I mumble a thank you for the call and hang up. I look at my violin for a long time and finally pick it up. Playing, I start to feel relief as tears roll down my cheeks. My parents are watching me and they are smiling. My parents tell me that Grandma always loved to hear my music and that I should go out on our balcony and play for the sky. I step out early evening and start playing. To my surprise, other neighbors come out and play their instruments and people begin to sing. I feel like myself again, finding that warm, there it is, and fuzzy feeling. I hope Grandma can hear my music. Now, this is where the book ends, but not where the stories end, because every single one of us has a story to share, because these have been really difficult and challenging times. But most importantly, we need to continue to look for that hope, that warm and fuzzy feeling, and we need to share it. Now, I also wanted to share something with you that is a story, because it's someone's story that talks about how they handled a challenging situation and happens to be written by Amy Rockford. Amy, can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yes, I have a story based on when I was 10 years old, and it's a true story about challenges and how my friends learn about empathy, and I learned the true meaning of friendship with that story.
Excellent. So it's so important to share your stories, because know that they make a difference. And know that even though we may all be a little, we look different, we eat different food, we live in different places, we are all so very much the same, and we share so many emotions. And when we look for that hope and we share that hope with each other, things get better very quickly. So the one piece that we want to finish with today is that Amy has on the back of her book, on the front of her book, and on every page, a symbol. And that symbol is this. Can you do this symbol with me? And then you'll notice it's also on Amy's shirt. So I think you need to tell us what this means.
This means I love you, and it tells you on my shirt that not all conversations use voices. So anyone, anywhere can use this to express the feeling that they love the other person.
Wonderful. So if you were in a quiet place, or maybe you were having a hard time being able to say something, just to look at someone and go, think of what a difference that would make. Think of how hopeful they would feel. And so I think, Amy, there's one more thing I need to ask of you. Would you mind teaching us the sign for hope?
Yes, you put your index finger here, and then you bring your other two hands here. That means hope.
Okay, let's all do it together. Ready? Amy, help us. Thank you so much. Well, I hope you enjoyed our story, and I would love to hear from you. So you can go to Barb's Book Buddies and send me a note, draw me a picture. You could go to www.hopewhereareyou.com and share your story. And remember, this book was written by Armand Doucet and Elisa, Guerra, and these beautiful illustrations were done by RoGu. So thank you so much for joining us today. Be well, be hopeful.